each day. Where there's a will, there's a way.
The views and opinions expressed on Trudging Together are solely those of the host, co-host, and our guests. They do not necessarily reflect the views of any organization, fellowship, or other entity, and definitely not your boss, your neighbor, or that one guy in your home group. The content of this program is not intended to replace medical, psychological, or professional advice. If you're looking for that, please seek guidance from qualified professionals who spent way too many years in school. What you'll hear here is based on lived experience, recovery journeys, and the occasional bad coffee-fueled joke. Trudging Together is not affiliated with any 12-step fellowship. We are simply people sharing our stories and walking this path together, one day at a time. Thank you for joining us, and remember, recovery is serious business, but that doesn't mean we can't laugh along the way.
Happy Friday. Happy Friday. Happy. I don't know of anything that goes with recovery that starts with an F. We have to come up with something. Well, you know what? It's October, so welcome to Freaky Friday. Hope you're having a good day. It's Friday, payday, beginning of the weekend, and you're making the decision to stay sober. Good job. I don't care if you've been sober a few days or a million years. Good job. It's hard for an alcoholic to do. It's not easy stuff. All right, it can be kind of tough, but what we get out of it is definitely worth it, man. You know. Yeah, so I'm trying to make a decision this morning. I got to do a follow-up call with somebody. These are not the easy calls. This is more like a confrontation call. And yeah, it's still got to be done the right way. It can't be done with anger. There's just some things that aren't right, man. When a recovery coach, at least in Colorado, we have a company called COPA. Been around since 1994. And they are an association. They are not, although they use government money. Oh, they definitely utilize government money, signal money. And they're clearly playing favorites. I mean, they are promoting the same people over and over. Aside from that, and then they have like employee of the month. They don't yet, but COPA, you don't have employees. These are not 1099s are not employees. See, when I talk about the frustrations of the alcoholic and the pride, we start to make things up, and we're very good at this. We're very good at this. You don't have employees. You have 1099 workers. Okay? If you are not paying their taxes, if you are not handing out a W-2, they are not an employee. Right? Right? So if I'm 1099, I can be a recovery coach at 3 or 4 different places. If I'm 1099, if I'm an employee, I cannot. Right? Yeah. And I know this situation very, very well because I was in federal court for a while discussing this. Not for my I was a national recruiter and trainer, and I knew a lot about it and about the system and stuff. But most of it was around 1099 contracts, and there's a thing in 1099 contracts. It's a right. It's called a right to work. Okay, and what they'll do is they'll put in there, if you leave or if you are fired, you cannot work in this field for 2 years, and you can't do that unless you are going to pay the person for those 2 years to stay out of the industry. It is not legal to do that. That is not binding. In fact, it will take the whole contract. It nullifies the whole contract because one thing is wrong in it. If one thing's wrong in a contract, the contract in and of itself is null and void. But it's the same people that committed Medicaid fraud, the populars, the pay to play, the beautiful people. I do not count myself amongst the beautiful people. I have intentionally not shaved. Okay, just so you know. I'm thinking about growing a beard. All right, let's get off the serious stuff. Um, this makes it really hard when you have nothing but ads. God. All right. It's time for Dion's Daily Funnies. Are you ready? All right. It's funny because this first joke was a running joke in our family. Our one of our daughters told it to us. Said she made it up. She may have at the time. I don't know. What do you call a pig that does karate? A pork chop. That's how we tell it. Pork chop. What do you call an alligator in a vest? An investigator. That would be an investigator. What do you got when you cross a lemon and a cat? A sourpuss. One more. What did the snail say when it was riding on the turtle's back? Whee! All right. All right. Let's kind of get to today's topic when gratitude feels hard. Welcome to Daily Trudge. My name is Dion. Hope you're having a good day. I think I said that. If you're here, please say hello. Whether you're watching the live or the rewatch. Man, okay. It has been a long time since I blanked out. And blank out means that nobody showed up. That there's nobody here live with me. So I will let you know. Okay. I'm kind of an emotional vampire. So when there's not people here, we don't quite get the same thing. When there are people here, it kind of changes. So it seems a little off. That might be why, but we're still gonna do it. We're still gonna do it. Because just because there's nobody here doesn't mean that there isn't going to be somebody that needs to hear this, whether it's the full length, one of the reels, something like that, right? And this is one of the things where we need to understand, like with me, and it does affect me a little bit. I'll tell you that. But I also have to remember that this is God's will, not mine. He's doing things for a reason, and he's doing it. He's doing it all for a reason. Maybe he wanted me to talk about that. That, and this goes right along with it, right? Because I'm not feeling very grateful that nobody's here. All right. So first we have to start by admitting that gratitude isn't always easy. Right? And of course I'm going to use myself as an example. When I got up this morning, there was pretty much one thing on my mind, and it wasn't necessarily something positive. Even though the change would make for a better situation for everyone, if that makes sense. See, I believe in recovery equity, and the reason I have a problem with this is because we have a lot of great resources out there. We have some good resources here in Colorado, but they are not endorsed like the other ones. And that's my problem. And they should be endorsed. They pay just as much money to the association as the other people do. All right. So, see, it's unequal. That's not fair. We are an all-inclusive community. That's how we work. Okay. Now, I'm going to keep that part at that, or otherwise I'm going to go into all that, right? So where am I going to pull gratitude today? Well, I finally got all the trash out of here yesterday. I got a lot of stuff, but it's a lot of work done in the yard. It looks good. I finished my power washing for the season. That is done. So see, I had some accomplishments. And I'm going to add on to those accomplishments today. I'm going to finish raking. I like it when my yard looks nice. Got some people coming over tomorrow. I'm going to a recovery event later on today. Community reach center, things are going well there. So see, there's a lot of things in my life that I have to be grateful for right off the bat. I mean, even my kids, you know, I go outside, my kids are speaking to me. It's kind of nice. It's 10:10 right now for anybody that follows that. All right. Some days I wake up grateful. Other days I wake up grumpy and need coffee just to tolerate my own thoughts. Where is that coffee? Here it is. Yeah. The intrusive thoughts. All right. Morning, as soon as I wake up, is the hardest time for me. I'm grumpy. All right. In the first 20 minutes, you're allowed one yes or no question. And it better not be stupid. Because I can't think. I'm not thinking straight. Okay. As soon as I get up, I have weird dreams. Sometimes they're nightmares. I had nightmares for a long time. So even when I don't have a nightmare, the habit has always been getting up and being grumpy. I've instilled that into my head. Oh, it was 10:10 on 10:10. That's even better. Double the fun. That's like double mint. All right. Good old double mint. It was a gum. Might still be around. I don't know. I don't chew gum. But I have gum, but only so my grandkids can say, Grandpa, can I have a piece of gum? And even then, it was from a grandkid that left it behind. He said, yeah, you can keep it. All right. So there's a habit there, and I need to work on it, but I'm aware of it, right? I had to start by admitting that I'm not going to be in gratitude all the time. And that is okay too. You don't have to be grateful 100% of the time. No. Gratitude, like anything else, is done with balance. When you see somebody and they're positive all the time, there's a problem there. We call it toxic. We call it toxic positivity. And it is the overabundance of gratitude that turns into pride. Well, you just got to have a good attitude. Oh, well, you have a bad attitude. That's why it's not working. Bad attitude and solution aren't, your day's going to be easier if you have a good attitude. Absolutely. But I have other emotions. See, using positivity as a way to get rid of anger is denying it. That's what I did with alcohol. So I can't deny it. I have to come to agreement. Oh, I am angry. Why am I angry? That's what I need to talk about. Okay, why am I angry? Well, I'm angry because this person did this, this, and this. And then I kind of get it off my chest to realize, oh, wait a minute, I had a role to play in this, didn't I? Okay, now I need to take a look at it. Okay, do I own amends? See, now you can work towards gratitude. Because what happens in that situation? Well, you took care of it, and then you're grateful that you have the tools to take care of it. That's where gratitude comes from. Gratitude is like love, and well, love and fear are kind of the basics of, and there are a couple base emotions. Think of it this way: you remember when you learned your primary colors? Okay, and they're what? They're blue, red, and yellow, right? So blue, red, and yellow are primary colors. God, I hope I'm right. If not, somebody, but you understand what I'm saying. So those are like base emotions. Then you have your secondary colors, where these primary colors mix together to create, right? So if we take blue and yellow and we make green, okay, now we're into a secondary color. And there's even a third level of colors, right? Well, these are like our emotions. It starts with fear. Fear turns into anger. It is at that point right there that you need to make a decision on what you're going to do with that anger. Okay, you're now green. Okay, do you want to stay green? Do you want to continue being angry? What do we want to do with this? It is a secondary emotion based off fear. Well, gratitude is also a secondary emotion. It is not a base emotion. Gratitude would come from the base emotion of love. Okay. Or even that fear. Fear can turn into gratitude if you decide to go the right way. Hey, I took care of that. I've never been able to do that before. Good for me. Right. And, it's okay. You know, maybe you haven't been feeling gratitude yet. Right. That doesn't mean you're doing things wrong, just so you know. It might take a little while for gratitude to start to seep in for you. That's okay too. We all heal at different levels, and we must allow for that. So, you know, if you struggle with gratitude, it's okay. Let me tell you something, because even if you're struggling with gratitude, it means that you have some kind of basis for it, and it's probably right around the corner. It's probably right around the corner. Okay. What do they say? It's always darkest before the dawn. And in this case, gratitude can sometimes be like that. Maybe you're going through something to find out, maybe you're going, why do you do that? Maybe you're going through something and you feel like you're missing out. Maybe something's going on, you didn't get invited, right? And you're like, and you feel sad. And you're like, man, why didn't I get invited? Or maybe your car broke down and you can't go. But there was some kind of interference and you feel left out, only to find out that something really bad happened there. How many stories are about somebody who got distracted about getting on a plane just to watch it crash? See, you're not going to miss out on anything. I have found that out. I have not missed out on one thing, right? I have been a part of everything that I'm supposed to be a part of. And God makes that possible. So if you're struggling with gratitude, it's okay. You are allowed to have that. Okay. I've struggled with it. Absolutely. You know, I'll give you an example. I am not grateful to have a roof over my head. Okay. And this is just me. If that and we all have our individual stuff. That works for you, that works for you, man. That's awesome. But for me, it's hard to be grateful to have something that other people are going without that they need. Sure, I'm grateful that I have air, but I'm not grateful that not, everybody, but I can be grateful that I have air because everybody has air. So I can be grateful for that. But I'm not going to be grateful to have a roof over my head until everybody has a roof over their head. All right. And that has to do with the fact that I am not going to feel grateful about something bigger than somebody else. If that makes sense. That's hard for me. Now you may see it in a different light, and that's okay. That doesn't make you good, bad. Yeah, that's just the way it works for you. For me, it's a little different. I found that gratitude is a dividend for me. And am I grateful? Am I, but then there's the hard one. I'm grateful all my kids are and my grandkids are back in my life. I'm grateful for that. But not everybody is experiencing that. So see how that it, I'm talking around myself. It's a contradiction, kind of. All right. But I don't need to understand that. I don't need to question it. It is what it is. Yes, I am grateful for that. I worked very, very hard to get my kids back. Okay. Because I screwed it up. Kind of a different situation. A little bit, right? So why does gratitude get tough? Okay. Because life still happens. Loss of people, if you are an Alcoholics Anonymous, people are going to just disappear on you. People you love, right? People you love, bam, gone. Won't answer their phone, don't answer your texts. Stop by their house, they won't answer the door. Okay. Stress. We're all going through stress. Every single person in America is stressed out right now. Food's expensive. Everything's really freaking expensive, man. And we're wondering how we're going to make it. Are we going to make it? Okay. That's why I live as a tribe. I've always had to do it that way. In order for me to make it, I have to live as a tribe. I live with my wife, two of my kids, and a grandson, and we split everything. And we're all able to have certain comforts. Sometimes I don't have enough money and they have to pay the bills. Sometimes, like a couple weeks ago, they need their car fixed. So we put it on our card and they'll pay us back. And so we have this tribe mentality so that my kids have security and I have security. And it works out. Clara, good morning, Clara. It's good to see you. Life still happens and they screwed shit up too. No one walks away from this better of the two evils. All right. Disappointment happens. A lot of things happen, man. All right. Now, your gratitude is usually in line with your expectations. Let me rephrase that. Thank you. My gratitude is usually in line with my expectations. Okay. Maybe that's not working that way for you, even though it is. But I want to make an assumption because maybe your expectations are different than mine. All right. Who knows? All right. Comparing. Oh, sorry. All right. Comparison. Maybe that's kind of what went on with me this morning. See, they're getting this and I'm not getting it. All right. Even though I don't want it. That's the thing. I don't want government money. Yeah. People are always like, you should go for after this grant. I'm like, kind of drives me crazy. I'm like, how many times do I need to tell people I don't take government money for very good reasons? That might change. Who knows? Okay. Claire says, my apologies. Good morning. No, we were writing, some good stuff there. So I didn't even notice, honestly, Claire. All right. All right. So yeah, comparing. The only comparison you should do is comparing your recovery to your recovery from the past. That's it. That's the only comparison. Okay. There are some other comparisons that would be good. Maybe somebody is doing something that upsets you. Okay. Now maybe it is happening because you do it too, but you're not willing to admit it yet. So sometimes comparison can help in a spot you got it with your character defects. It's okay to ask yourself this question. Okay, does that upset me because I am doing it too? Okay, no. Okay, now we're going to move on to the next thing then, right? All right. So, burnout. Yeah, burnout. I got burnt out about a month ago. I had to back off on a lot of stuff. And I did. Because I got to take care of me first. If I don't take care of me, I can't help you. I can't. All right. So burnout. So what does gratitude really mean? Well, first of all, it means that you don't need to pretend that everything's okay. Oh yeah, I'm okay. I'm okay. That person that's always okay, check on them. That person that is always happy, check on them, please. Gratitude doesn't always have to mean happiness. It doesn't always have to mean excitement. It doesn't have to mean any of that. It could be balance. You could even be grateful for your problems if you want to be. Remember we talked earlier about sometimes anger can turn into gratitude because we took that anger and did the right thing with it. Well, same thing. Gratitude doesn't always need to include happiness. It can mean balance. It can mean serenity. Because to me, serenity is peace, right? So it certainly isn't pretending that everything is okay. Right. Now I'm going to talk just a little bit how sometimes a gratitude list can disrupt or it could lead to resting on our laurels. Okay. Not always. Okay. So what happens? Well, when we write a gratitude list, we're getting the happy emotions, right? I'm sorry, Amber. Amber says, I'm sick. I have horrible hip pain today. My hip is out too. It went out yesterday. I'm sorry, Amber. I hope you feel better. See if you can get to the chiropractor. All right. I don't like it when my friends don't feel well. So, and Amber's actually more of a friend. She's more than a friend. She's like a daughter to me. So, all right. So it doesn't mean that. So what happens? So we get those happy feelings, right? And we think, and then we're like, oh, yay, I'm going to go have a good day, things like that. But then we think that's going to carry us through. Now, if you want to write a gratitude list for, to start your day off so that you have a better attitude, fuck yeah, do it. Do it. But it is not to determine your day. So that would be grateful. Okay. So I am grateful for a roof over my head. I'm grateful that my kids are back in my life, right? So I write the gratitude list. Okay, I have a better attitude for today, and that's a good start. Now we need gratitude in our lives. And gratitude usually comes from service work, from helping somebody out or accomplishing something. Maybe your job, maybe you're on the middle of your 4-step and maybe you finished it today, right? So, but it's usually helping somebody else out. Now, when I do that, like when I do the daily trudge and I know I helped somebody out or it turned out well, when I'm done, I feel gratitude. It is a dividend from the emotion of love. So we have grateful and we have gratitude. These are two separate things, even though they supply the same thing. So those are a couple of different ways that you can do that. And all of these work. Okay. But do not let your gratitude, you can't do a gratitude list and then go Netflix binge all day. That's not going to carry you through. Oh, I'm in a bad mood again. Yeah, but remember what we're grateful for. No, this is the time we're like, okay, why am I in a bad mood? Okay. Here's a little thing that my mom taught me when I was younger because I had a lot of anger. Right. She taught me this when I was like 20, 21. Right. She said, Dion, you're allowed to be angry. You're allowed to be angry. It's what we do with it, right? So allow yourself to be angry for 10 minutes and then move on. She didn't say let go. She said move on. So what am I doing in that 10 minutes? I'm confronting my anger. Why? And I deserve to have a better day than this. And I start my day over. And you can do that anytime you want. Okay? So if you have a negative emotion, allow yourself. Give yourself permission to bitch about it for 10 minutes and then you're done. And then go on with your day. You're still allowed to be angry with that situation. But if you do that and you allow your subconscious to think on that problem because you're doing service work, it will solve itself. It is not your conscious that actually solves your problems. It's your subconscious that solves them. That's why service work works because I am no longer thinking about my problem. I am now trying to solve yours. And since I'm in solving mode, I solve my own problems. Ta-da. All right. It's saying, even though things are hard, I'm thankful I don't have to face them drunk or high. Yeah. Sure, it's hard, but I have the tools now to take care of this. Sure, it looks hard, but I've got a wealth of friends out here that are more than happy to sit down and walk me through this, to help me out with it. And what is that? Well, that's doing a quick gratitude list in your head. You do. You have a wealth of friends. But you got to ask for help, right? I ask for help all the time. Nobody answers. Doesn't matter. Keep asking. It's just the right person hasn't come along yet. God hasn't. But if you continue your intentions that way, sooner or later, it will work out, right? So when we do all this, when we do all this, um, when we do all this, you can shift your perspective. And that's what I was just kind of talking about, right? And this is not something where it's one and done. This is part of our daily reprieve, right? So every day is a day when I get to start over, right? And it's fresh, it's new, It's amazing what 8 hours of sleep can do, right? And so it can shift how you're going to look at things. And since that happens when you go out into the world and you're talking with people and you have a better attitude, what will happen? Good things will happen throughout the day instead, right? You ever wake up in the morning and and something happens, maybe you stub your toe. Oh, it's going to be that kind of day. And it turned out to be that kind of day, didn't it? You ever start your day over halfway through the day and you had a much better day because you decided to do that? Hmm. See, that's the change of perspective. That is the change of perspective. Right. So we have simple tools to find gratitude again. Simple. All right. Not always easy. Right. But we got to keep in for at least for this alcoholic, I have to keep things simple. It isn't that I don't understand when things are unsimple. It's just that I don't need to get myself involved in that. Right. Margie, I'm sorry that's going on. I am. I'm in the middle of this and I apologize, but I can't solve that problem for you. Okay. But do know that if you need to get to that off your chest, I'm letting you do that. So, and yes, I would be upset too. Absolutely, I would. I don't want you to think I was ignoring you. So, all right. I hope it gets better. I really do. So, pause and name one small thing you're grateful for. It gives a couple clean clothes. Coffee. Yay. Coffee. Thank you, coffee. I had to overdo that. All right. So pause. What do you what are you grateful for? So, and you don't have to write it down. Maybe you're just writing in your car. Oh, you know what? I'm grateful I have a car. I didn't have a car for me. I That happens to me all the time. I'm grateful I even get to drive. I didn't have a driver's license for most of my adult life, you know. And people always said the same thing, DUI, DUI. Don't sit here and tell me they don't know you're a drinker when they ask you don't have your license. Oh, DUI, that's what they go to because they know you're a drunk. It was not a DUI, it was child support. Right. So still, I didn't have a car. I used to walk down the street and be like, God, man, I hope one day I get to drive again and gosh, I'd be able to get a lot more done. And, you know, at the same time, like it like riding the bus. You know what I would do? I would read, or I would listen to music, or I would relax, or I would get some work done. See, I took that and I made it an advantage. See, while you're driving around messing with traffic, I'm having a nice time because the bus driver's having to do all the work. All right. Even to this day, I wouldn't even need a bus schedule. I could get there. All right. So think it's like, and it doesn't have to be big. It can be small. It can be small. It doesn't have to be these huge things. Right. Journaling, prayer, talking to someone else who gets it. These are a couple other ways that we can take care of some things, right? Margie, I know that what you've been going through. I'm going to recommend that you look into Oxford Sober Living. They're really, really good. So that'll help you get out of there. It'll give you a place where you can get back on your feet and get some recovery in you at the same time. Just suggestion. I don't know if you're in that position, but I would recommend Oxford Sober Living. Claire says, grateful for your goodness, grateful for your kindness, grateful for all the things that you do. Let me take a minute to thank you, God. I thought you were talking about me. I'm kidding, Claire. That was a good joke, though, right? Because we quit playing God. Okay. It was funny. So, prayer, asking God for guidance. Sometimes gratitude shows up after the storm. Now, but you can change that when you want to. It is not always easy. You might be in the storm at the time, right? So, closing message, keep trudging. Chat GPT helped me out with this a little bit, by the way. So that's why I keep looking down. Right. Gratitude grows with practice, not perfection. And you know me, I'm not big on um progress, not perfection. That's not a line I use. In this case, it says gratitude grows with practice, not perfection. Practice, yeah, absolutely. Gratitude is a practiced art. It doesn't just happen. Okay. There again, it's a dividend from an action. All right. And of course, always look out for your wins. At the end of the day, think of the things that did go right. It's a pretty bad day indeed when something didn't go right. Okay. And this is going to be based on our perceptions. All right. If gratitude feels hard today, that's okay. Just don't give up on looking for it because it is still there. It is still there. Claire says, I'm not big on progress, not perfection either, but I'm big on spiritual progress rather than spiritual perfection. Yeah, absolutely. However it works for you, it still works, right? I prefer spiritual progress through perfection. It means the same thing. I just changed it around in my mind so it makes a little bit more sense. Yeah. And that's what's great about the program is we all are allowed to do that as long as it aligns with the principles of Alcoholics Anonymous. All right. All right. Thank you all for being here. I appreciate it. I love you. You know I do. Peace out and have a day.